Perfect, okay.
Are we gonna really use the microphone?
Yes, of course we're going to really use the megaphones.
Alright, okay. Hi everyone, my name is Dan Cannon. I'm the Florida organizer for Southern Energy Network and I work with the Florida Yes Coalition.
And I am Yanina. I coordinate the Ohio Student Environmental Coalition. And as y'all may or may not have heard, Florida and Ohio are kind of battling it out right now when it comes to PowerShift recruitment. It all started a few months ago when I started getting mysterious phone calls from Ethan Ness at Energy Action Coalition. He'd call me every hot minute and be like, yo, Florida's totally raging on some fools right now.
And I would get calls from Whit Jones at Energy Action Coalition saying, hey, this up-and-coming organizer, Yanina, in Ohio is kicking a lot of ass, you better watch out.
And one night, in the Energy Action Coalition office in Washington, D.C., it totally culminated. And Dan and I were sitting there, staring at our computers and kind of arguing about which state was better. Little known fact, Dan is originally from Ohio and decided to leave.
But Florida is the Sunshine State. It's currently snowing outside, so really it makes a lot of sense to go to Florida.
All that to say, we were having a bit of a conversation about which state could bring more folks to PowerShift, and we decided that there's only one way to settle it, and it has to involve Energy Action Coalition logo tattoos.
Yeah, so Yanina claimed that Ohio was better than Florida, and they could bring more people to PowerShift, and therefore the loser would get an Energy Action Coalition tattoo.
And Dan was really worried about getting this tattoo, and like really all I could say about it was like, Dan, if you don't want to get a tattoo, maybe you shouldn't lose.
And of course my argument was, well, Ohio students don't have to travel 17 hours to get to Washington, D.C.
All that to say, here we are a few months later after this has totally been brewing and festering for a hot minute, and we started thinking and we kind of like, you know, had a conversation about what's happening, and we learned that there's incredible work happening in each of our states. Florida, for example, they're bringing 4 buses full of students, and with a 5th one on the way.
And 2 universities in Ohio have gotten their universities to sponsor over 100 people to go. Oberlin and Bowling Green are rocking it.
And so we realized, if there's all this cool shit happening in each of our states, why have we been fighting this whole time?
So we realized it was an inside job. Whit was calling me, Ethan was calling Yanina, they were stoking the fire.
And here we are, hearing all of these amazing stories about campus organizing work, and we realized, what if Ohio and Florida work together to bring over 500 students by this Sunday?
And this Sunday is a big day because it's March 27th, and the registration cost is going to jump from $65 to $80. So we want to make sure as many people register for as cheap as possible.
So, thinking about Energy Action Coalition staff, thinking about tattoos, thinking about this abundantly real moment, Dan and I have a challenge for the Weathen brothers.
Yep. We want the Weathen brothers to commit to getting Energy Action Coalition tattoos, as long as we, Florida and Ohio, can bring and register 500 people by this Sunday.
And to prove how committed we already are to this idea of Energy Action Coalition logo tattoos, and also just to make sure that y'all don't think this is some phony ploy where Dan and I are gonna do some of this, we just wanted to let y'all know that we're way ahead of y'all when it comes to Energy Action Coalition logo tattoos. On that shit like it's yesterday's business.
So Whit and Ethan, with Florida and Ohio combined, having 500 registered by the deadline this Sunday, March 27th, we'll be looking for those tattoos.
Put it on the agenda at PowerShift, yo. Be prepared to get a tattoo like that.
Yep.
You're supposed to say and get it on your asses.